So now we want to replicate our simulation model, a 15-day operation, n number of times. 50, 100, 1000. So let's say that we want to replicate this 1000 times. Okay. Now, the way we're going to do this is the way Excel recalculates all the contents of a worksheet. Okay. So the default is, if you go to options and go to formulas, you see that here we have workbook calculations automatic except for data tables. So which means whenever you make any change anywhere, the entire sheet will get recalculated. All the formulas will get calculated again, except for data tables. Okay? You can also change it, including data tables if you like, but that's not necessary. That includes any changes to any cell, even just say you have a blank cell and you delete the blank cell. It's actually nothing is happening, right? But Excel recalculates. So click, see, it recalculates everything. And because RAND function is based on the internal system clock, you have a new seed, so new numbers get generated. So we're going to use this feature of how the cells are recalculated by Excel into tricking it to giving us the replications. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a data table. Okay, and suppose we want to look at the average number of arrivals. Okay, and we want wait, let's start here. So suppose we want to look at average number of arrivals. Okay, the number of barges and average number of barges unloaded per day, and on the average how many barges are waiting at the end of the day, not having been unloaded. So we want to gather statistics for these three outcomes, right? And we want to set up replications, say 1000 replications. So we give numbers. All right, so we can go like that, keep on going until 1000, or you go all the way down. Okay, so but we don't want all the way down, we want only up to 1000. So fill series, and then you say stop value is 1000. So our highlight has covered 10,000 rows or 100,000 rows, I don't know what, but the filling will stop with 1000. Okay, so we have 1000 numbers here, right? Okay, so now we set up a data table. Okay, all the 1000, and then the three columns giving the three outputs. Okay, so remember the highlight must start it should include the first row where we set up the output cells. Okay, so now you go to data, what if data table. Okay, now the column input, so this is your replication numbers, so 1 through 1000, right? And you really don't care where that replication number goes, because the replication number is not doing anything. It is only forcing Excel to recalculate the spreadsheet. So we can really put that output number into some blank cell, B45. Okay, so what this data table command will do is it will take each of these numbers 1 through 1000 and put it in here. Okay, when it puts it in here, a recalculation is forced and the random values are regenerated and you get a new replication. So click OK. So you get the new replication. The reason why all the numbers are same here, okay, all the numbers are same. So it did not replicate, right? No, actually because our recalculation was automatic for all the cells except data table. So the data table is not getting recalculated. Well, what's the point of this then? Well, what we need to do is to force a recalculation of the data table also, and you do that by pressing the function, by pressing F9 key. Okay, if you press the F9 key, then it'll get recalculated. So now we have 1000 replications of 15-day model. Okay, so now we can set up some statistics here for each of these statistics. So minimum, so we can get a 5-number summary if you like, and we can even plot, prepare plots here. So minimum from here all the way down, right? So that gives us the minimum. Now the easiest way to do that, repeating this, is to, well, get into edit mode, Control C, okay, and then go into the next cell. Okay, so now here it is percentile. Okay, and there are several percentile functions. You need to use percentile.exe. That's the correct one. All right, so now paste the range that we just copied and get rid of that min from there. Okay, and then we have to specify the percentage. So I'm going to violate my own principle here of never ever using numbers in functions, but this time I'm going to make an exception for myself. So I'm going to copy that alone. So there you have that, and then Q1 will be the first quartile. So quartile.exe, again the range that I copied, comma 1 will be the first quartile. Okay, and median and the range that I copied. Okay, and then quartile.exe. Now the 3 would be the third quartile, and then percentile.exe. Okay, now I want 0.95, 0.95, not percent, 0.95, like that. Okay, and then max. So this gives us a general idea about the distribution of that statistic. So let's format this. Okay, and copy for the other 3. Okay, so this gives us an idea as to how the 15-day operation is going with the current level of capacity. Now, when we looked at examples in sheet 2, we looked at lots of different probability distributions. Here in this example, your textbook uses the discrete distribution, but it's just as well, we could very well easily used other distributions. So for example, if the number of arrivals, okay, the arrivals is binomial, for example, instead of the arrival rate 0 through 5, not this probability, but binomial probability, right? So it can be anywhere between 0 and 5. So if you wanted binomial arrivals, okay, so instead of VLOOKUP here, how would you do it? So you would do n equal to, all right, so 5, and probability of arrival, okay, I don't know, suppose if it is 0.3, then you would do binom inverse, okay, like we did here, binom inverse on that probability. Okay, if you wanted to use Poisson distribution, which is more likely the case for number of arrivals, then you have to set up a lookup table like this instead of the discrete distribution.